Okay, just need to move my screen. Okay, just having trouble moving my, oh, here we go, got it. Right, we're away. Okay, so the aim of today, sorry about that, is to increase our awareness of the range of support and services and activities that we have available in Somerset. We're going to look at some of the services and support that's also available to those in specific circumstances or with specific health conditions. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll feel that you've got a resource of easily available and reliable information so that more people are able to access the right information for their wellbeing needs. Now, there's an awful lot of information available to support people and it can be a bit overwhelming. So we haven't looked at every single situation and every single category, but what we hope by selecting some general topics, we can lead you to some good information, and it may be possible that once you find that really good source, the people who work for that organisation can tailor specific support for your particular needs. So we'll be looking at the different type of support available. Some of it is web-based, some of it you'll be able to access by using a telephone. Why are we looking at this today? So coronavirus has brought a big challenge for all of us in many different ways. The usual support structures we have for keeping healthy and happy are no longer available. And the impact of physical distancing and having to stay at home has undone a lot of the normal support structures that we have in place to keep ourselves healthy and happy. So we no longer have, or many of us don't have, a secure income, and the thought of making future plans, well, we can't really do that. That can lead to a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. We're no longer able to meet friends or family away from home, being active with friends and family outdoors, going to gym classes, for example, is no longer available to us. Space at work, where we might spend time with colleagues, can be a nice break sometimes from our home environment, and also a source of our social life. We no longer have access to our peer support groups for health and wellbeing, and we're no longer able to follow programs of support from a dedicated service if that involved actually meeting somebody in order to do that. In addition, the effects of coronavirus impacts people in different ways depending on their circumstances, and we know that it affects people financially. Some people are already feeling lonely and isolated in our communities, and the impact of lockdown and social distancing or physical distancing is only going to compound those feelings that people have. People with existing health conditions are understandably anxious because we hear an awful lot about this in the media. Some people are vulnerable at home. The one place they should be safe is not actually a safe space for them, and they're now having to spend more time at home than maybe they would have done. People that are carers already face challenges caring for people, and there are extra challenges that they face now that they're no longer to get support for themselves away from home or meet other carers for peer support. And for those who already feel anxious or low, some aspects of coronavirus and the way it's talked about may increase people's already feelings of anxiety or depression. So what we feel is that it's important to find the right support early on, and this can increase people's feelings of control and help them to resolve their situations in a timely manner. So finding the right support, the different topics we're going to look at today and the sources of information are as follows. We're going to start with Somerset County Council because they have an awful lot of information already, and that may be the one-stop shop you need to find the information that's appropriate for you. We'll talk about the local corona community support groups that Spark is helping to coordinate. And then we'll run through some key areas of support that you may already know about, such as Citizens Advice Bureau. We'll look at mental health support. We'll consider how to keep active at home. We'll look at where you can find good information on domestic abuse. We'll be looking at age-specific support and services, telephone befriending services, specific health conditions support, carer support, and a brief look at the district-wide directories of service and support that already exist and have been adapted for coronavirus. So this is a really good place to start. An awful lot of information has been pulled together. You'll find the latest coronavirus guidance on a range of topics if you visit the Somerset County Council website. It gives you information on the latest NHS news. It lets you know about affected services. It has links to lots of topics such as mental and emotional health support, domestic abuse, education guidance for parents and carers. You'll find national and local links to the NHS, information about work, financial support and money, business and what to do if you're self-employed, information about schools, what to do if you're a parent and looking after young people, support for healthcare workers and carers, and also information about the County Council's Community Connect service, which are doing a lot of work at the moment regarding supporting people that are more vulnerable in the community and working closely with the village agents. You'll find lots of information there. There's also links to the Healthy Somerset, which is the Somerset's public health service for information on staying happy, healthy and safe at home. So if you just follow that one link, you'll find information to all that other support. There's also a dedicated County Council telephone support phone number. This is available 7 days a week from 8 AM to 6 PM, and it's the one number you need. It's a single point of access to the County Council, and from there you can be directed to the district councils as well if it's something specific to the district that you live in. You can get information on emotional support, financial support, personal care and support, waste collection and disposal information, social care and help for the homeless, medical transport, and also self-referral for food parcels and emergency support if you found that you think you should be on those lists, but somehow have been, you feel that you should be shielding, but perhaps haven't found yourself onto the appropriate list or been contacted by your GP or adult social care, you can self-refer on that telephone line as well. Now, if you're hard of hearing or deaf, you can send a text as well to the number at the bottom of the screen. Healthy Somerset is Somerset Public Health's dedicated website and service to support people to stay healthy, happy and safe at home during coronavirus. So they're posting information to support you at home, and they're keeping it updated regularly in line with national guidance. So if you go onto this website, you will find dedicated resources on keeping active, information about healthy eating, the Stopping Smoking service, which there's been an increase in the number of people accessing support from stopping smoking services across the country, and now's a really good time to reach out to that service. So you'll find information on that website. There's also information about promoting wellbeing while self-isolating. You'll find information about families, children and young people. Again, there's a really good list of local resources and information and guidance that you can connect into via this website. And in addition, Somerset Public Health and Healthy Somerset have teamed up with BBC Somerset to run weekly wellbeing radio shows. And you'll find information as well on the BBC Somerset website, and also follow the link at the bottom of the page for access to all of those resources. Local coronavirus support groups. So this is something that Spark Somerset's been working quite hard on to act as a bit of a linchpin for the range of corona community groups that have popped up across the county. So you'll find there are volunteers in villages and towns working together to help keep community members well and safe. They're getting involved in tasks such as collecting prescriptions and groceries. Some also offer a dog walking service, and some provide a friendly chat service as well. So if you're looking for support, you can visit the Corona Helpers website and just click on I need help. You can also look to see if there's a local Corona support Facebook page. Many of the groups are using social media as a way to stay connected, but some do also have emails and telephone numbers. So if you're struggling to find a group that's near you, do give Spark Somerset a call as well. So our phone number is on there and you can speak to a member of the team. One thing I do want to mention, if you are looking at finding support via a local Facebook group, do take reasonable precautions when contacting the group. and don't post your contact details or personal circumstances on an open Facebook page. We've got advice and guidance for people who are volunteering with the corona groups and for keeping safe as well. So do visit our Spark Somerset website for further details. So most of you, I'm sure, have heard of national and local citizens advice bureaus. These are a great source of information on a whole range of topics. Again, they're keeping updated information online. You can find the latest NHS guidance and symptoms information, additional support if you are shielding, advice for carers, advice about going to work and school closures, what to do if you're self-employed, if you're struggling with bills and need benefits advice. Citizens Advice is a very good place to start. Citizens Advice in Somerset are not providing face-to-face services currently. However, support is available by phone and email. So give them a call on the number on your screen if you would like to speak to an advisor. In addition, in South Somerset, the Citizens Advice team have put together a series of coronavirus advice videos. So you can find out about employment and benefit advice, and these will enable you to understand your rights, your options and your choices around employment and benefits during the coronavirus situation. So looking after your mental health during coronavirus, this has received a lot of attention online as well. We know that staying at home for a prolonged period of time can be difficult and frustrating. So it's especially important to remember to take care of your mind and body and know where to get help and support if you need it. So staying in touch with family and friends by phone and social media is always encouraged, and for the majority of people, their social network will be with their friends and family. So do try and stay in touch with people if you can. Also remember, you've got your healthcare team there to support you if you're struggling with your mental health as well, so do make use of them. The government have pulled together some really good resources to support people with their mental health. So if you follow the link below, you'll find information on top tips for self-care, how to manage practical issues, information about medication, advice for specific conditions, and there's also links to NHS recommended helplines and courses on a range of topics and situations. So do have a look and see what you can find on there, which might be helpful. There's a mental health telephone support available in Somerset, which has come about through an alliance of different organisations, including Somerset NHS Foundation Trust, the Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service and Young Somerset, and the Somerset Mental Health Alliance. So if you do need urgent mental health help, you can telephone this number. It's a one-stop number to access many different mental health services available in Somerset. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is open to people of all ages. So it's for young people as well as adults. It's the first port of call for mental health, and it's operated by people in your local area who will know best how to support you. However, do remember that you should still call 999 or go to A&E if you have an immediate life-threatening emergency requiring mental or physical health assistance. Mental health support for young people. So we mentioned CAMS just now. That is the Somerset Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, which has a variety of teams and services for young people aged 0 to 18 years who are struggling with their mental health. So that website there will take you to their information, and you can then work through the website to see which information you need. If you want to give information to a young person about getting online support, Kooth is a really good platform that provides online counselling and emotional well-being for children and young people, and that can be accessed through a mobile, tablet and desktop. It is free, safe and anonymous, and you can access support Monday to Friday from 12 PM to 10 PM and weekends in the evenings from 6 PM to 10 PM. So visit Kooth where you can register for support. The Anna Freud National Centre for Children and Families is a children's mental health charity with experience of caring for young people and their families. They have lots of resources available to help manage the impact of the coronavirus situation and how this might affect children and young people's mental health. It also has information for young people, parents and carers, and schools and colleges. So do visit their website or email them for general inquiries. Keeping active while keeping your distance. We hear a lot from the government about making sure we get our daily bout of activity. We know that keeping active at any time is great for our physical and mental health, and it's especially so during the challenges of coronavirus. It can help with both our mental health as well as our physical health, provide a bit of structure for our day and an opportunity to leave the house. So if you're looking for motivation to keep active while at home, check out these resources for inspiration. Somerset Activity and Sports Partnership is a great place to start. They've got some really good projects, resources and ideas for all ages for you to try at home, on your own or with your family. They've also produced SAS activity at home packs for older people and those with long-term health conditions who may be self-isolating or shielding at home. Now, if you would like an activity pack, you can contact Joshua by email or give him a call, and he can arrange to have one delivered to you. So do have a look at that. You'll find other resources on the NHS Fitness Studio. They've got online exercise routines, and you can choose video workouts to suit your fitness levels, including aerobics, Pilates, and strength routines. If you're concerned about what the NHS guidance is regarding exercise, you will find links to information as well. Guidance recommends that you make sure the type and intensity of your activity is appropriate for your level of fitness. You can find more information about the physical activity guidelines for your age group on this link. You can also try chair-based exercises as well, and there's a link for that too. You can still go outside to exercise. However, the county's health walks and park runs are on hold. We've been asked not to run or cycle together, but there are many benefits to moving outside, getting plenty of fresh air and being in nature. You can still walk or cycle alone, and you can still walk your dog. I imagine dogs are getting lots of exercise at the moment. So, domestic abuse support and guidance. This is an especially important topic. You may have heard lots of information in the media and from the government about the effect that having to stay at home is having on people at risk of domestic abuse and violence. It's an especially difficult and worrying time for everyone. And so if you're an adult or child living with domestic abuse, it's got the potential to make things worse. So it's important to know where to access the right information, and also know how you can support someone and signpost them to the right information if you're worried about them. So government information and support is available. They have lots and lots of information, different helplines, different types of support that you can access if you go online there. In Somerset, we have the Somerset Integrated Domestic Abuse Service, CDAS. So you can talk to someone about domestic abuse if you give them a call on their helpline, or you can email them as well at YouFirstCDAS. And the service is available between 8 AM and 8 PM Monday to Friday, 9 AM, 1 PM on Saturdays and Sundays. You'll find further links and advice if you're experiencing abuse, or if you are a professional or a friend or a relative wanting to know how to help someone affected by domestic abuse, do visit the website. They also have a newsletter which goes out regularly, giving people updated information about how they can get support. You may have heard of the using the number 55 if you have to call the police. If you end up calling the police because you're in immediate danger, but you can't speak, if you press the keys 55, that will alert the people at the other end that you need immediate help. Women's Aid also has information, safety advice for women and young people concerned about domestic abuse. So visit their website for support. Refuge runs the National Domestic Abuse Helpline for women seeking emotional and practical support. This one is open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can also contact them online. And Respect is a men's advice line. It's a confidential helpline for all men experiencing domestic abuse by a current or ex-partner. They provide emotional support and practical advice and can give you details of specialist services. So visit their website, or you can call them Monday and Wednesdays 9 till 8, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday 9 to 5. They also have an email that you can contact them on. So specific advices and resources for young people. The National Youth Agency has specific advice and resources for young people and youth services and youth workers. Young Somerset is a youth charity which provides a range of support and opportunities for young people. You can reach the staff team on email or by telephone. They have online resources and a newsletter that you can sign up to as well for information and ideas of how to manage during coronavirus. Somerset Mindline, as we mentioned before, is the telephone emotional support services, which is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. And that is for young people to access as well, and you'll be put through to the right team. There's also government guidance. There's support for parents and carers of children and young people for their mental health and well-being. So if you follow that link, you'll be taken to the latest advice from the government. Advice and resources for older people. So I've put Age UK here as the main source of contact. I know there are other charities available, but Age UK is a really good place to start. They have free and confidential information and advice and services for older people, their families and carers. Their physical interaction obviously isn't available, so you can't access their exercise classes or their toenail cutting services at the moment. But they do have a dedicated coronavirus webpage and lots of ideas for keeping active at home and helping people to access food at no cost for those that need it. So do give them a call. Age UK also acts as advocacy for older people as well. And if you're struggling with anything, start with Age UK and they'll be able to either give you support yourself or point you in the right direction. Age UK also have a telephone service for people who are feeling lonely or a bit isolated. You can arrange to have a friendly chat by signing up for their friendly phone calls. So give them a call to register for that service. You can leave a message with your name and number. I'm going to talk a little bit more about befriending services and support. So we've mentioned Age UK, but there are also other services that provide telephone support as well in a more of a befriending way rather than giving practical advice and information. So you can try re-engaged call companions if you're already a re-engaged client. That's for people over 75 years of age or older. St Margaret's Hospice Sunflower Friends provide a telephone service for people with life-limiting illnesses. Macular Society has a telephone befriending services for those with macular disease. Alzheimer's UK side-by-side support is available for those with a dementia diagnosis who are already receiving support from the team. Somerset site has telephone support for those with sight loss if you would like to speak to somebody, and the Silver Line Telephone Friends is a helpline and friendship service for people aged 55 and over. We do have a resources page on our website listing current befriending and support services, and we do update that from time to time. So do have a look at the Spark website if you want to see other services that might be available in your area. So support and guidance for specific health conditions. So it's usual for many charities and community groups to provide face-to-face support and organise local community get-togethers. And this kind of peer support is fantastic for offering psychological and social support for people with a long-term health condition. Obviously, during this time, charities are having to stop this in line with government guidance. However, that's not to say that the charity or organisation that you're used to getting support from hasn't adapted their services in some way. So it's still worth contacting that charity via their website, email or phone. Get in contact with the groups and charities you usually have contact with and see how they're adapting their service or support. And also remember to check in with your healthcare team if you're concerned about any aspect of your health condition. I've got a list here of a selection of key charities which support people with specific health conditions who have added guidance relating to coronavirus to their website. So the Dementia Somerset, you can call the Dementia Advisory Service on that number and also email them on somersetdas@alzheimers.org.uk. The Alzheimer's Society also has a national dementia helpline that people can call, and again you can email them at helpline@alzheimers.org.uk. The British Heart Foundation has information for people with heart or circulatory diseases and what that means for you if you have coronavirus or are shielding to make sure you don't get it. Diabetes UK also has current advice available about what it means for you if you have diabetes. The British Lung Foundation has current advice available about coronavirus and what it means for you if you have a lung condition. Asthma UK, there is current advice available from Asthma UK about coronavirus and what it means for you if you have asthma. And Macmillan Cancer Support has current advice available about what it means for you if you have cancer. So do make use of those well-known charities and get in touch with them if you have any queries. I haven't listed all of the charities because there's so many and so many health conditions, but these ones are the health conditions that have been flagged up as ones to be particularly careful of if this is an underlying health condition you have during coronavirus. Support for carers. So if you're regularly looking after someone in a caring capacity, you can access support and guidance from a range of charities and organisations, although the usual support might not be available in terms of meetups and peer support, for example. So the Somerset Carer Service can support you with advice and guidance, acknowledging that caring for another person can be rewarding, but also overwhelming and lonely at times. So you can get support from your local carers agent. You can get support from your GP if you let them know that you are a carer. You can be registered on the system as a carer and then access additional support. There's also a website with Somerset Carers which has lots of information on as well, information, advice and guidance. The Somerset Community Connect website has lots of additional information and guidance for carers and also for young carers, so give that a look too. And Carers UK is a nationwide charity which provides guidance and support to carers. You can view their latest coronavirus guidance for carers here on that website. And again, going back to specific health conditions, if you are caring for someone with a specific health condition, you may be able to access additional support as a carer from a health-specific charity. So Alzheimer's Society and Parkinson's UK, for example, offer additional support for carers too. So do get in touch with those known charities if you're supporting someone with a specific health condition. So we've looked at good sources of information for general advice on a whole host of topics, and also looked more specifically about specific health conditions and people's unique circumstances, and also age-related supports. We do already have existing local directories of different services already in Somerset. So in South Somerset, for example, we have Wellbeing South Somerset, which offers a directory of local services of support which are low cost or free. Obviously, some of those aren't available to you now, but we have added additional information about those groups which are offering support at this current time. In Mendip, we've got the Health Connections Mendip service, which has a directory of local services and support which are low cost or free as well. And you'll also find information about the Health Connector service available from the GP practices. And in Taunton, there's a directory of local services and support which are low cost or free. And you'll also find information about the Wellbeing Advisors service available from the GP practices. So that's pretty much everything that I was going to cover with you today. If you've got any questions, I'll have a look and see if any have come up, and have a chat to Amelia. Hi, Amelia.
Come in yet. Hi guys. So do get your questions in via the Q&A or the chat box, or if there's anything you wanted to add. We've had Lucy from Parkinson's UK has put a really good point. People can contact Parkinson's UK for support with a helpline number, and there's also information on their website, and there is also links to Parkinson's local advisors within the county. So what I'll do is I'll add that onto the follow-up email, so you can have the link to that.
Wonderful.
No questions.
Anybody got anything else they'd like to share? If it's not a specific question, are you part of an organisation that offers support in Somerset? And is that something you'd like to share with the rest of the group?
Brilliant. We've had Natalie come in with West Somerset Citizens Advice. Sorry, I can't talk this morning. Telephone number, and again, I will include that in the follow-up email.
Lovely. Thank you, Natalie.
Oh, there we go. We've got Tanya. I would like to add Swan Advocacy is still open and running to provide advocacy in Somerset, and that's brilliant. A really
Fantastic.
brilliant organisation.
Fantastic. So many of our wonderful charities and support organisations are still offering support. So especially if it's a charity you already know or are familiar with, do make sure you give them a visit to see what they're up to at the moment.
And then we've got Guide Dogs are keeping service information and advice up to date on web pages. And they've got a dedicated coronavirus web page, lots of info, including on how to keep your dog entertained during lockdown, which is always very important. I love that. I'll be having a look at that in a minute.
Sounds good.
Natalie, there was no mention of West Somerset in the local directories of service. Do we have one?
Yeah, that's a good question, Natalie. So I know that in Taunton, the directories I mentioned there are ones that follow a particular format. So they started at Health Connections Mendip. We adopted the same format in South Somerset, and Taunton did the same, and Sedgemoor are about to launch their own version of the same website, which follows a format of making sure the information that's on there is low cost or free, and that we as a team have been in touch with those organisations and kind of have a sense of the sort of support that they offer. I don't know whether now that Taunton and West Somerset are actually kind of merging, whether the information for West Somerset will be linked in with Taunton in the future. But what I'd recommend is maybe have a look at the district council websites, if we haven't mentioned a specific district for you, because they also have lots of information on there as well. And also visit the Community Connect website, which has lots of information. And I know that the village agents are very active in West Somerset. So if you visit CCS, Community Council of Somerset website, they may well have more information for the west of the county.
Nothing else popping up at the moment, so I don't know if we want to.
All done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I don't know who you are. I've just been talking to a light on my screen. I hope that the information has come across okay and that you've got something out of today. Do get in touch if you'd like to share any comments, and if there's any specific information you think we really need to share with you, let us know and we'll send it out in a follow-up email. Otherwise, I'm going to hand you over to Amelia, and now I'm done. Thank you.
One last one before we say goodbye. Ups and Downs Southwest, supporting families with a child, young person with Down syndrome, is still open with their contact information. They're offering telephone and email support, as well as Zoom virtual coffee mornings. So again, I'll share that. I'll take all this and share it. But otherwise, thank you so much. And
that's great.
Brilliant.
Okay, right. Thank you, everyone. Keep well out there. Bye-bye.